everybody. What's up?
James Caviezel is an American actor best known for his portrayal of Jesus Christ in Mel Gibson's 2004 film The Passion of the Christ. Born on September 26, 1968, in Mount Vernon, Washington, Caviezel began his acting career in the early 1990s and steadily built a resume that includes a mix of television and film roles. Before his breakout role in The Passion of the Christ, Caviezel appeared in several notable films, including The Thin Red Line, 1998, Frequency, 2000, Pay It Forward, 2000, and The Count of Monte Cristo, 2002. His performance as Edmond Dantes in The Count of Monte Cristo showcased his ability to carry emotionally intense and physically demanding roles. Caviezel gained international fame, and some controversy, for his depiction of Jesus in The Passion of the Christ, a role that required immense physical endurance and spiritual reflection. The film was both a massive box office success and a subject of widespread debate due to its graphic depiction of the crucifixion and its religious themes. In addition to his film work, Caviezel starred as John Reese in the critically acclaimed CBS science fiction crime drama series Person of Interest, 2011 to 2016. His portrayal of a former CIA operative recruited to prevent violent crimes earned him praise for balancing action and depth. Off-screen, Caviezel is known for his strong Catholic faith, which has influenced many of his career decisions and public appearances. He often speaks about faith, morality, and the challenges he's faced in Hollywood due to his beliefs. Early life and background. James Patrick Caviezel was born into a devout Catholic family of Swiss and Slovak descent. He was raised in a small town in Washington with 4 siblings. His upbringing in a faith-centered home would later play a pivotal role in both his personal life and professional decisions. Caviezel initially pursued a career in basketball and even played at the college level before an injury redirected his path toward acting. He attended the University of Washington and later studied acting in Los Angeles. Career highlights. Caviezel's early career was marked by guest roles in popular TV shows like Murder, She Wrote and small parts in films. He began gaining traction with roles in G.I. Jane, 1997, and The Thin Red Line, 1998, where his performance as Private Wit drew the attention of both audiences and directors. His career-defining moment came in 2004 with The Passion of the Christ, directed by Mel Gibson. The film was both a box office phenomenon and a lightning rod for controversy. Caviezel endured extreme conditions while filming, reportedly dislocating his shoulder, being struck by lightning, and enduring hypothermia during scenes of the crucifixion. Despite the challenges, his performance was widely praised for its emotional intensity and vulnerability. Following The Passion, Caviezel found himself somewhat typecast and claims he faced pushback in Hollywood for taking on such an overtly religious role. However, he continued to work steadily, choosing roles that aligned with his values. One of his most acclaimed later roles was in the TV series Person of Interest, where he played a mysterious ex-CIA agent turned vigilante. The series ran for 5 seasons and developed a cult following for its unique mix of action, philosophy, and artificial intelligence themes. Faith and public persona. Caviezel is an outspoken Catholic and has never shied away from discussing how his faith guides his life and career. He has given numerous talks and speeches at Christian events, often focusing on themes like courage, sacrifice, and spiritual warfare. He's known for turning down roles that conflict with his religious convictions and for choosing scripts with strong moral or redemptive arcs. This sometimes puts him at odds with the mainstream entertainment industry, but he remains committed to his principles. Recent work and projects. In recent years, Caviezel has remained active in film and television, often gravitating toward faith-based or patriotic projects. One notable project is Sound of Freedom, 2023, where he portrays Tim Ballard, a former government agent who rescues children from sex trafficking. The film was heavily promoted within conservative and faith-based circles and stirred discussion both for its subject matter and the surrounding discourse. He has also confirmed his involvement in the long-anticipated sequel to The Passion of the Christ, reportedly titled The Passion of the Christ, Resurrection, once again directed by Mel Gibson. Legacy and influence. Caviezel occupies a unique space in Hollywood, respected for his talent, yet polarizing because of his faith-driven choices and bold public statements. He's seen as a hero among many Christian audiences and a figure of intrigue or controversy in broader media circles. Despite the ups and downs, Caviezel has maintained a reputation for being deeply committed, spiritually grounded, and unafraid to go against the grain. James Caviezel, Hollywood's reluctant rebel with a purpose. James Caviezel isn't your typical Hollywood actor. While many chase fame, red carpets, and blockbuster roles, Caviezel has carved a different path, one guided not by industry trends but by unwavering personal conviction. With piercing blue eyes, a calm intensity, and a commanding on-screen presence, he's best known for portraying one of the most iconic figures in history, Jesus Christ in The Passion of the Christ, 2004. But Caviezel's story began far from the spotlight. Born in Mount Vernon, Washington, in 1968, he was raised in a devout Catholic household that instilled in him the values that still guide him today. His early dream was to play professional basketball, but a foot injury rerouted his life toward acting. He eventually moved to Los Angeles, where he began studying theater and working his way through small roles on television and in film. His breakthrough came with Terrence Malick's war epic The Thin Red Line, 1998, where Caviezel stood out among a cast of A-listers. That led to starring roles in Frequency, 2000, and The Count of Monte Cristo, 2002, where he proved he could carry emotionally rich, action-heavy stories. Then came The Passion of the Christ. The role changed everything. Filming was brutal. Caviezel suffered a dislocated shoulder, contracted pneumonia, and was even struck by lightning during the shoot. But his performance was raw, vulnerable, and deeply human. The film became a global phenomenon, grossing over $600 million worldwide. Yet, despite the success, Caviezel found Hollywood doors beginning to close. He has said openly that taking the role cost him career opportunities, but he has no regrets. "I was called to play Jesus," he has said in interviews, "and I answered that call." After The Passion, Caviezel kept working, but often on projects that aligned with his faith and beliefs. From action thrillers to biblical epics, he remained selective, turning down scripts he found morally compromising. His starring role in the CBS series Person of Interest, 2011 to 2016, brought him back into mainstream visibility, earning him a new fanbase and praise for his portrayal of a haunted ex-CIA operative. In 2023, Caviezel returned to headlines with Sound of Freedom, a film inspired by real-life anti-human trafficking efforts. The film struck a nerve with audiences and further cemented his role as a figure of moral storytelling in cinema. He also confirmed that he'll reprise his role as Jesus in The Passion of the Christ, Resurrection, a sequel long in the making. Off-screen, Caviezel is a vocal speaker on faith, freedom, and cultural issues. His talks often go viral in religious circles, and he's become something of a spiritual warrior in the public eye, praised by some, criticized by others, but always standing firm. James Caviezel may not be the typical Hollywood leading man, but that's exactly what makes him so compelling. He's not chasing stardom, he's chasing purpose. James Caviezel, the actor who chose the cross in a town built on illusion. James Caviezel is a man who insists on truth. Hollywood is no stranger to transformation. But few transformations have been as literal, or as costly, as Caviezel's decision to take on the role of Jesus Christ in The Passion of the Christ. It wasn't just another role. It was a calling. Born in 1968 in small-town Washington, Caviezel's early life was rooted in faith, family, and the dream of becoming a basketball star. A serious injury closed one door, but opened another. Acting became his path, but even from the beginning, he wasn't looking to play the game the way everyone else did. After gaining recognition in films like The Thin Red Line and The Count of Monte Cristo, Caviezel had Hollywood at his feet. Then came The Passion. Mel Gibson tapped him for the most ambitious and controversial religious film in decades, and Caviezel poured everything into the role, body, spirit, and soul. He was lashed, carried a 150-pound cross in freezing weather, and was struck by lightning during filming. Yet, his performance, harrowing and heartbreakingly human, became iconic. The film earned over $600 million and sparked global conversations about faith and sacrifice. But for Caviezel, it also came with a price. He later revealed that his career fell off a cliff afterward. He was no longer the safe Hollywood bet. But Caviezel never looked back. His post-Passion projects reflect a man driven by principle. He's taken roles with redemptive, heroic, or faith-driven arcs. Person of Interest gave him a second wind. 5 seasons as the haunted and quietly noble John Reese brought him new fans and reminded audiences of his depth and intensity. More recently, Caviezel starred in Sound of Freedom, portraying a real-life anti-trafficking agent. The film sparked grassroots support and controversy, cementing his place as a cultural lightning rod, both admired and maligned. He's also set to return in The Passion of the Christ, Resurrection, reuniting with Gibson to continue the story that defined his legacy. Off-screen, Caviezel has become a polarizing public figure. He's a regular speaker at Christian events, boldly confronting topics like persecution, truth, and morality in modern culture. He's unfiltered, deeply devout, and unwilling to water down his beliefs, even if it means standing alone. James Caviezel isn't interested in popularity. He's interested in purpose. And in an industry where many wear masks, Caviezel is a rare figure who wears his cross in plain sight. James Caviezel, the outsider inside Hollywood. James Caviezel's story is not a typical Hollywood rise and fall, and rise again. It's something else entirely. It's the story of an actor who, at the height of his fame, chose conviction over comfort, faith over fame, and purpose over popularity. Born James Patrick Caviezel on September 26, 1968, in Mount Vernon, Washington. He grew up in a devout Catholic household, one of 5 children in a close-knit family of Swiss and Slovak descent. Sports were his first love, basketball, specifically, and he had dreams of going pro. But a foot injury in college cut that dream short. In its place grew a new passion, acting. He studied in Los Angeles and hustled his way into minor roles, working steadily through the 90s. Early on, he gained attention for his quiet intensity, something directors noted immediately. Terrence Malick cast him in The Thin Red Line, 1998. A poetic war film that showed Caviezel could convey oceans of emotion with little more than a glance. From there, his career ascended. He starred opposite Dennis Quaid in Frequency, 2000. Played a compassionate teacher in Pay It Forward, and took on the iconic role of Edmond Dantes in The Count of Monte Cristo, 2002. Caviezel seemed poised for major stardom. Then came The Passion of the Christ, the role that changed everything. When Mel Gibson cast Caviezel as Jesus, it was a bold choice. At 33 years old, the same age Jesus is said to have been when crucified, Caviezel was deeply moved by the spiritual weight of the role. He accepted it with full awareness that it could change his life. And it did. Filming The Passion was physically and emotionally grueling. Caviezel endured extreme weather conditions, heavy prosthetics, brutal makeup sessions, and injuries that included hypothermia, a dislocated shoulder, and even being struck by lightning. But his performance was transcendent, suffering, sacred, and completely immersive. The film itself was a cultural earthquake. It became one of the highest-grossing R-rated movies of all time. Yet despite its financial success and audience impact,
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.